Hello friends, and welcome back to Swift Lessons for another weekly challenge. Over the last several weeks, I've been offering some very basic, very simple initiatives that can have a profound impact on your playing. Some of these initiatives have been related to music theory, some of them have been more technique-based, but they've all led up to today's challenge, which is to write your first song. And if you've already been writing original songs, then to dig in a little bit deeper and perhaps try to reinvent your songwriting process. Let's get started with my 5 tips for being able to write your own original songs. Okay, getting started with tip number 1, use the basics. Contrary to popular belief, the ability to write original music is not the byproduct of years of study or virtuosity. You can get started writing original songs with just a basic understanding of music and a few standard techniques. Now, of course, as your musicianship improves, so will your ability to analyze some of your favorite songs, be able to borrow concepts from them. But always remember, many of the most remarkable and memorable songs throughout music history have just been a couple of chords, maybe 2, 3, 4 chords, and a very standard, basic rudimentary melody. So remember, when it comes to songwriting, oftentimes less is going to be more. Okay, moving on to tip number 2. You are what you eat. Now, we've heard this many times in reference to your physical health, but it's also true for your creative health. So what I recommend is that you maintain a steady diet of rich and diverse music. Listen to great music all day, every day. Dig into the classics, review your contemporaries, maybe branch out into some new genres. As your musicianship improves and your playing chops improve, so will your ability to be able to analyze this music and be able to draw from these sources. Okay, and on to tip number 3, learn basic music theory. There's just a handful of concepts that you have to learn if you want to be able to analyze your favorite songs, be able to break them down into their raw materials, and then build all that stuff back up into your own original work. So if you want to be able to understand how scales are used to create chords and also chord progressions and melodies, then I recommend that you click through this card right up here in the top corner, and that'll take you to my Master and Major Keys Music Theory course. Okay, on to tip number 4, and this one is very big, especially if you're a beginner songwriter. Learn stock chord progressions. So the vast majority of hit songs are comprised of just very basic chord progressions that are used over and over again. We call these stock chord progressions, and they're the ideal starting point for beginner songwriters. So I recommend starting in the key of G. It's a very easy key. It's one where the majority of the available chord shapes, especially in these stock chord progressions, are just simple open position chords, not bar chords. Okay, so a few ready-made stock chord progressions that you can start to use to write your first songs. I would recommend using the 1-4-5 progression. Okay, and those numbers are referencing the major scale where everything comes from. That's the main reference point in music. So if I look at my G major scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. My 1-4-5 is G, C, D. Okay, that's why it's so important to know the names of the notes in your keys. Okay, so G, C, D gets converted into the chords G, C, D, or G major, C major, D major. And that's a great progression to get started from. Almost every blues song is just created using a 1-4-5 progression. Now, you might also want to try to add in the minor 6 chord. This is a very, very, very popular progression, especially in kind of 50s doo-wop. Okay, the 1-6-4-5 progression. That's G, E minor, C major, and D. You can never go wrong with that. They call them ice cream chords because everybody likes ice cream. Everybody likes this chord progression. And you can mix them up into another pop hit chord progression. The 1-5-6-4 progression. Okay, so that's G major, D major, E minor, and also C major. Okay, think Let It Be by the Beatles. Okay, moving on from that, you might also want to check out a very common jazz chord progression, which would be 2-5-1. So, finding those in the scale, 2 is A in the G major scale, so G, A, right? 5, G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so we have A, D, 2, 5, and then 1. So 1 in the key of G is G. So 2, 5, 1, A, D, and G. And the 2 chord in a major key is almost always minor. So that would be A minor, D major, and G major. Another very, very common and popular stock chord progression. Okay, mix and match those chord progressions, be creative, write your first song. Okay, now moving on to my 5th and final tip for this session. I will be back later in the week with some more tips. This is just one of many lessons I'm going to do on songwriting to help you refine your process. But my 5th and final tip for this lesson is going to be to find the right groove. So oftentimes, the one thing that really puts a song over the top and makes it memorable is its rhythm. So what I recommend that you do is learn some basic strumming and picking patterns over a few common time signatures. So one rhythm that you should definitely have down, especially if you're a beginner, is the pop strumming pattern, oftentimes called the calypso pattern. So over G major, that would sound like this. Applied to a 1, 5, 6, 4 progression. Okay, and that's very simple. Just down, down, up, up, down, up. It's important to count as you learn these patterns. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Those upstrokes coming in on the ends, okay? So a pop strumming pattern, can't go wrong with that. Another pattern that I often teach beginners is the what I call the R&B pattern. Sounds like this. You can use your fingers, you can use your nails, you can use your thumb, or a pick. But either way, it's going to be down, slap, slap, down, slap. Applied to a 1, 6, 4, 5, that would be. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, so that time we're throwing in that downstroke on 1, 2, and. Right there on the end, 3, and 4, slapping. Okay, so very commonly percussive elements come in on beats 2 and 4. Okay, so those are 2 very simple patterns to get down. You'll be able to get those into your muscle memory very easily and be able to sing over top of them and be able to apply them to your many chord progressions. Now let's say that you're playing in a different time signature. A very popular time signature to get used to would be 3/4 time. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And a basic pattern over that would sound like this. Over that G major chord, just bass, down, down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Applied to a 2, 5, 1 progression, A minor, D, and G. G. Let's throw in a minor 6. It's a great progression. You can have that one, just A minor, D major, or G7, G, E minor. That right there could be your first song, okay? I don't own that, no one does. It's just a stock chord progression with a stock strumming pattern. Now let's do one more. A fingerstyle approach to playing in 6/4, another very common time signature. So that would sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thumb, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb. E, D, G, B, G, D. I call this the basic arpeggio pattern. Over a 1, 6, 4, 5. E minor. C major. D major. All right, very, very common pattern, very common rhythm for your songwriting. So we know how to do it over a G chord. It's the same over E minor. And then we can go to the C major chord, just drop the root down to A. And then for the D chord, take the whole operation down one string. Okay, that basic arpeggio pattern. And if you want to learn some other fingerstyle techniques and other fingerstyle patterns, then click up here in this card. That'll take you to my fingerstyle breakthrough course. Alright friends, I hope you enjoyed these songwriting tips. I'm going to try my best to be back with you in the middle of the week, give you some more tips to help you refine your process. Until then, get creative, get started writing your first songs, and if you come up with something that you're happy with, record it right away. And feel free to share it with me via Twitter @SwiftLessons. I'd be happy to listen to it and give you some feedback. I gotta thank my patrons. Thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you're enjoying all your extra resources. Thanks to you guys, I've got many more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy pickin'.